So this week started with a design thinking session. It was a really interesting and enthusiastic session. We learned design thinking
through 5 steps, which was empathy, define, ideate, prototype, and feedback. After that, we dive deeper into innovating. So we were given random chits about. On day 2, we focused on mind mapping, and they gave us a topic of mobility. Everybody had a sheet. Everybody had a different idea of mobility. A lot of us had the same idea of mobility, which is basically transport, public transport, private transport. But there was this one girl who had the idea of social mobility, which I thought was very interesting. Social mobility was just like social hierarchy, but it was like if you get promoted, that brings you to a different stage, which I thought was very interesting. And nobody really thought about that, and it was really cool. The other half of the day, we got an expert talk, which was excellent, I would say. We got to know a lot about the market. I believe school में ये सिखाना चाहिए वैसे. But we got to know about the market, about the target audience, the target market, our research sector, primary research, secondary research, which gave us a lot of knowledge about how, after we're done prototyping our product, how we can actually make it reach forward to the market and let the users actually buy the product. On the next day, I took a class on business case studies, in which we analyzed different case studies that the businesses had made, their products, their services, and we looked at how the design thinking was done and how they came up with such innovative ideas.
We were again given chits and we were told to frame a problem statement and again come up with new solutions, innovative solutions. So I think everyone actually came up with really interesting and innovative solutions. I had never heard of such technologies before.
So basically now we're going outside and we're going to talk to the people and figure out what their problems are and if they have any idea of solutions.
And we had to go up and present our problem statement along with an idea that we thought would be really cool to solve our problem.
So on the very next day, it was a really hectic day because it was a black hat day on every possible aspect of our product. So we had to really delve deeper into our research about our product and the data that we collect.
But in YIP, I think questioning your friend's idea is the best thing that you can do, because you want to tell them that yes, there are limits which you have not even touched with your idea. I want to build an idea which can last centuries. Now, if I want to build such an impact, I need to foolproof that idea. And because of that, I need different perspectives. So in this method, there were at least 15 people who questioned my idea. And after that questioning, and I was actually very sad, but then I realized that that's the best thing that my friends could have done.
Certainly, shifting to a new group was different, but I think that's the challenging part of this program. However, it felt really comfortable for me to shift into a new group. I think it's due to the fact how our groups were divided.
Soon we started to acclimatize and fitted into our groups and adjusted with each other, focusing on the main content, ideation.
It was pretty frustrating at first because about 27 or 28 ideas of ours got rejected, but then now we have finalized on an idea.
We already had an idea in place and we already thought that we'll start working on it. But the time we went back, we realized that the idea may not be really convenient for users and there's no point of the idea. So the next day we spent completely brainstorming everything we can think of. We went into so many different fields except mobility, healthcare. We went into charging, but nothing really came to life. So again, we went back to the base idea of going into mobility with a vehicle that can go on all terrains, fly, land and water.
Finally, after a lot of effort, after finding out the beauty of ideation, which is coming out of your comfort zone to find a proper idea, after a lot of struggles, after a lot of rejections from several ideas that we came up with before, we came up with the final idea, which was an alcohol detector, which was proposed by me. Yesterday at night while I was sleeping, I randomly thought of it and proposed it today. When they heard it, we instantly chose to keep this idea instead of our old idea.